If you just joined the show, welcome. It's Jay Fresh and Friends here at Pyre Radio this Monday evening. You know how we do. We don't only play the latest and greatest in new music from the world of hip-hop and grime, but you know I reach out to artists, producers, performers, the people making the tracks as well, because we just have to have them on the show. It's as simple as that. Now, the very first time we've connected, and we need to know a lot more about these guys, we have got Crankhead on the line, on the Zoom call right now. What's happening, boys?
What's up?
Yeah, man, we're just saying, like, interviews like this, they're commonplace now. Is it Skype? Is it a phono? Is it a Zoom? I don't know what's going on, but at least we're recording and I can hear you and you can hear me, so we're in a good place, man.
2020 technology's now.
Yeah, it is well strange though.
It is mad now. It's the question that we can't get away from. But firstly, I always check in with artists when I connect with them in these, like, 2020 is a messed up year. So I always like to check how you guys are doing. Everything's good. You're in a good place. How has the new normal treated you guys?
Yeah, it's been a bit odd. I've been furloughed for ages, so just been chilling, making music. Obviously, the singles taking up most of my time, but playing a lot of FIFA. If I'm honest with you.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't really mind it. I said to a few people, it's like it's quite nice to have a lot of time to just spend at home and like just think of ideas, write a lot of stuff down, make plans. I've never written so much on a whiteboard in my life. I've got so many plans and things to do. So it's quite nice to finally not be sort of pressured of going out, working, social life, all that. It's just straight up business, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We're often always saying how, like, we ain't got time to do everything, because we don't. But now, like, if it's given us anything, it's given us a bit of a time to reflect.
Yeah, trust.
And kind of see where we are, and especially from a musical angle, we can like start to work on your strategies. But I do not have a whiteboard yet, so I feel like I've been slacking.
Oh, you gotta get the whiteboard.
Yeah, Apache's famous for his whiteboard. He's like, it's on my whiteboard. I'll get it over to you.
Oh, really? So like, if it's on the whiteboard, it's 30. Yeah, if it's on the whiteboard, it's 30.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, definitely.
Wicked. So let's take it back to basics. Like I said, this is the first time we've ever connected. How did you guys connect?
Oh, time ago. We connected time ago. I'd say, is it about 4 years ago?
Long while, yeah. So we both worked at Toys R Us, and I was his manager, and you was Jacob, little cashier man, them teaching him the ropes. And then, we just out of nowhere sort of connected. It was like, oh, we both make music. Wait, you make beats and I rap. And it was like, oh, okay, we got to do something. So we just sort of shared emails, shared socials, and then that was it.
Yeah, it was about 3 years ago when we released like our first track as like Mio Flux and Patchy the Rockstar. So it wasn't like a duo thing. It was just like a collab. We did a show and our headline show just popped off. It was crazy. Still probably one of the best moments we've ever had. But like, yeah, I think since then we kind of thought, well, it's a no-brainer to make a duo. So, because we work all the time together and it's quite good bouncing ideas off each other, and yeah, it just works.
I mean, that's the thing when you work in a duo or collective for a long period of time, you get to know each other's musical habits. You get to know what you're trying to communicate and share with each other. And do you know what I mean? Why do you think there's not more kind of collectives, duo collectives within, like, you know, hip hop, rap, trap, drill, grime, whatever you want to call it, that UK sound? Why do you think there's not more? It's a lot of individuals right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's something that should be done more often. I think that's like one of our key selling points. If I look at it, is one of our big selling points is obviously we're a duo of a producer and rapper, and it's not really done. But I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know because one of the things we do is, as much as we're Crankhead, we do our own individual music as well. So it's not like that holds us back. So I don't really know. I'm not quite unsure.
I think you get a lot of frequent collaborations out there, don't you? Especially in this UK scene. But yeah, it's mad. It's mad that a sort of producer, at least a producer-rapper duo or anything like that, has not ever been a thing. Probably more so in the American scene. But yes, I rate it. We've got the chemistry. And we've just gone from there, just leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you mentioned it there about the American thing, because you'd always think like, you know, Primo with Biggie or with bits for Nas or whoever, you'd always be thinking of, or I guess there is like, you know, in that side of the UK scene, you've got like, you know, your Steel Bangles and Miss kind of thing, but they're not full on kind of. They're not billed as a duo, and maybe it's just me and my depth and showing my age, but I'm like a UK garage kid originally. So everyone was always like, there was always the duo, the producer and the artist, or the singer or the MC, and then obviously grime and collectives and that. But I always thought, not to be cynical and just be the marketing guy, but I always thought it's there. Like, it can really work. And as you guys have pointed out for you as Crankhead, like, it gives you the opportunity to stand out.
Yeah, I think so, definitely. And it kind of like, it's nice to like fall back on each other, because I feel like with me and Patchy, like with both, but our strengths are in like very different areas, so it kind of like balances itself out really well. So we kind of got the best of like both of us in terms of.
And it don't work unless you can work together as well. If you got two massive egos, that ain't never going to work. Like, I think we're both quite reserved, humble. And it's like, it works the fact that I can say, yo, I don't like that. And he can tell me, yo, I don't like that. And that's fine.
Yeah. We've always done that.
Exactly.
I think that's the best thing. Like, when we work, we've always done that. We've never been like too nervous to go, oh, I don't like that. We just straight up say it. And I feel like we make better music by doing that, because there's no point trying to put an effort on something that I don't think is good enough, or vice versa, because it's never going to be the best thing we can come up with.
And that's the thing. It sounds like your chemistry is so dope. You can be that open and honest with each other. When you're in music, you're surrounded by people, or your brethrens or your yes men or whoever, like, yeah, that's cold. And it's not your best work. So that honesty, that helps you come up with the best thing you can do. So,
sure.
You're based in Northampton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I think I've been to Northampton before. Is Roadmender?
We played there a couple of times.
Yeah. That's the only. I'll be honest with you. I think that's the only time I've been into Northampton. Obviously, there's a lot more there. So for you guys, how is that kind of local scene? How is that side of things? How is it doing what you do, based what you do? Is that a blessing? Is it a curse? Does it not even matter? How have you found out on your journey?
We ended up, I think when we like first started into now, we've managed to get we support loads of like the local like indie bands, which is a really another odd thing that we do, is that I think one of our things we've been doing is kind of getting a party started for indie bands for headline shows. So we supported a lot of like artists around the area who are doing really well, and we support them and kind of get the party started. So I think the scene for that's good. But there's a real like music, I think in Northampton there's a lot of shows on all the time, which I feel like I find like a lot of towns there isn't. It's more cities.
And we've got a lot around us, isn't it? With like Birmingham up the road, London around the corner. It's all very close knit. So we travel a lot anyway, don't we, Jay? So we go London for studio. We go London to meet people. So everything's very close and easy. So there's a lot of people in Northampton that are inspired by sort of the towns and cities near us. Yeah, you got Slow Tie, you got mans like that putting us on the map as well. So big up them, man. Helps definitely. Us all out.
Yeah, and because I've lived in London for the last 3 years, so that's really helped us, I think, kind of like get like our grips together. And I've met a lot of people who have done a lot for us living in London. So I feel like that was like a good step. And then we just go studio all the time in London. So
no, it's good to get your input, man, because I live in South London now, but I've lived out of London more than I've lived in London. And I think there was that time where like you felt that you were just on the cusp, you were just on the outside of things. And obviously this is kind of pre-social media or whatever, where, you know, you weren't able to connect and build that fan base and whatever. And another example now, we talk about a few artists, is the grime artist FFSY though. Like I came across her and like she's dope. And then obviously like she's been putting on for her area. And I think there was like a mural of her or like a graffiti of her done in the town centre or something recently. So it's like, yeah, man, it's dope. And what I've always said to artists, and I obviously don't say to you guys because you guys already know, but like, it doesn't matter where you're based now. Like I said, you could be based in Northampton, and you might suddenly find that through Spotify and your IG and everything else, you suddenly have the maddest fan base in like Bulgaria or Finland or somewhere, and then you end up doing huge shows out there and everything that comes along with that, rather than just like, I have to live in London, I have to try and break London. So. It's all good insight. It's all good to see where you're at. Now, debut single as a collective, a duo, No Luck. It's heavy.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
Banger.
I'm that guy. If I like a tune, I'll play it. If I don't, I won't. I don't care whether someone's got 1 million followers or 1 follower, whatever. I don't care. But like, I heard it and I was like, do you know what? It is a banger. So congratulations. With you guys knowing each other for so long, how has it kind of taken? You know what I mean? How has it taken that amount of time to kind of put out the track as the duo, or is that only because that's come through like relatively recently?
I think we've just been like kind of honing our sound. We're kind of like early. I mean, we've always kind of dabbled in music, haven't we? But like, I mean, I wasn't really a confident person to actually like rap and like tell people, yo, I rap now. Like that's something I do. So until like sort of 3 years ago when we actually met up and I was like, yeah, I rap a little bit, and we started trying it out. You sort of, I think we've benefited from trying it with crowds and doing our thing here, there, and everywhere. So this is kind of the song that kind of best fits our growth.
Yeah, and I think as well, like we've had like a lot of advice from people and kind of like watching like other artists like grow and how important consistency is like nowadays. And I think like we've spent the last like year and a half filming videos, creating all the music. So we've got like a consistent flow for the next like few months to come out with music and videos. So there's no stop, because I think that's like so key nowadays.
The momentum is really important because again, everything's so throwaway but quick to go through that, if you haven't put out a track in 6 months, 9 months, people go, oh, do you still do music?
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's why as well, like we just wanted to, I think we've got 2 more videos already finished, planning the 3rd one. So we've got like months ahead of us, because to have that consistency and kind of have that hype that goes with it, and just we don't want anyone to kind of sleep on us. And I think that's the best thing about it. It's just planning all that.
Yeah. And just before we started the interview, we did talk about how from a live perspective and a performance perspective, obviously 2020 is just on its head right now. So there must be a sense of frustration from you guys, because obviously your debut track has dropped. It's dope. Some good traction going along there. And naturally that would lead into shows and summer season. And you touched about opening shows for indie bands and whatever. So how frustrating is that for you, that the live element is very much on hold for the time being, or are you just like putting it to one side and just jumping into the studio still?
I think it's a bit of both. I think like I miss shows a lot. I wish we could have done like a release show for No Luck, because I think it would have gone off. And it is, I mean, you do like the buzz you get from hearing your own track and like playing it live is crazy. But I think it has given us that time to kind of like focus on what we need to focus on. And I feel like the reason No Luck has done so well is because like we've had the time as well. I think it's kind of like a catch-22 with it.
So in terms of the track, obviously you said there you've got a little bit more time to kind of stay on top of stuff, hit up radio stations, DJ, stay on top of the airplay you've been getting and stuff like this. How have you found the kind of reception to the track so far? Is it what you was expecting, or is it all just something new?
Yeah, I think way more, I think.
Yeah, it's been good, man. It's quite exciting. And seeing a lot of people that you haven't, spoke to in a while, and those types of, especially locally, you start seeing a lot of DMs and that, flowing, and the texts are flowing like, yo, I've seen what you dropped and it's dope and this and that. And obviously we dropped the merch with it as well, didn't we, Jay? And I mean, that sold out.
Yeah, sold out.
Within 24 hours or something, no matter how many sort of messages and that I had sort of afterwards, like, yo, you got any merch left and whatever. So yeah, we're definitely getting a great reception, and it definitely shows that people are listening.
Yeah, and I think it's been nice kind of having the time to kind of sit back and just watch it all happen. And like, it's kind of like overwhelming in its own way. It's like, honestly, we've had a lot of support from all national radio stations all over the country. So like, for us, it's exciting. It's exciting that a debut single can like be an independent and everything can get that much support.
Well, fully deserved, man. And I think what's dope as well is, the independent DIY angle was something that always used to be championed a while ago and then got a bit tired. But I feel now like ownership is so key. And like you said, you've been not only doing merch effectively off one single, but you've been selling that out. You've had loads of positive feedback. You talk about your YouTube. and obviously that side of things with your videos and what you're trying to cultivate there, and, you know, people are responding on it right in front of me saying, like, I can't wait to see this live and stuff. Like, sometimes, you know, this music game is all about numbers, or people view it all about numbers. If it hasn't had 1 billion views in a week, like, it's not that viral hit. But I feel like building it and actually building your base and having that full ownership is the way ahead. So for you guys being artists who as individuals had been doing bits for whiles, to then start, you know, a collective, a duo, effectively at zero. You know, we're talking Instagram, YouTube awareness of the duo and the name and stuff. Was that something you was worried about? Were you bothered about how quickly numbers would go up? Or were you just like, let's just do it, man, and it'll grow organically whenever the time is right?
I think a bit of both. I think I was definitely more worried than Patchy.
Yeah, you worry way more than me. I think because we're so, you know, planned out. I told you I got a whiteboard. I think it's very, the whole industry is very strategic. There's a plan to everything, and I think because we know, you know, the timeline and how we want to take things, I think, you know, it's quite easy to just, you know, for me to just say, right, Jay, let's just stay on track. Don't worry about the numbers for now. You know, we're doing it for the love of music and the enjoyment, and the rest will come. Do you know what I mean? We just keep, you know, treating this as passion, and you know what I mean? Like the rest will come, man. We'll reap the rewards when, you know, when the time comes. Because people love, you know, organic, and, you know, that something they can see that they can relate to. And if you're trying to, I don't know, push everything through numbers, and it doesn't look legit, and it just didn't seem like you know, you've got the passion or the drive for anything. It's just all about numbers and business, then it's never going to work.
Yeah, man, I hear that. I feel that's the way to do it. And, you know, I always say to people, like, unless you're the guy who's chasing that viral hit and that quick deal or whatever, then just do your thing. And like you said, you selling out your merch could have possibly generated more money than people with more numbers behind them, but can't sell any merch because the fans are not engaged. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And it's that whole thing, isn't it? Like, you see people with like millions and millions of plays, like, on everything, and then they can't sell out a venue, or they can barely pack a venue with live. And that happens a lot. Like, there's a lot of people, like, you see and you think, well, they can't sell shows out, they can't even sell a hometown show out. Do you know what I mean? And like, it's like, and these people have like millions and millions of streams. We're not talking thousands, like, it's millions. It's ridiculous.
It just doesn't make sense, man. Like, if you can't, like you said, if you can't sell out your own hometown 500 cap show or whatever the numbers are, and like you said, you've got millions behind you, then it just it literally doesn't add up. Unless you're flying to that country and selling out arenas because all your fan base is in a particular country, or continent or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Definitely. Because I think I'd rather fill out 500 cap shows than have 1 million streams. Yeah, 100%.
It's
100%, man, 100%. So if we look towards the rest of 2020, and there's not that long left. There's only a few months left, which is mad. This
whole year's flown by, bro.
Yeah, it's so weird.
So for you guys, what kind of things have you got lined up? I mean, obviously you've mentioned tracks are in the can, ready to go. Are there any other bits and pieces you can let us know about that you're working on or putting together for either this year or perhaps the start of next year when things are hopefully a bit more normal?
We've got
much of the same, innit?
Yeah, we've got a few more tracks to drop before the year's end, definitely. I think our next track's got the coolest video ever, and we worked really hard on it. I think that's going to be, and we're excited to release that. And No Luck might have a remix as well that comes out very soon.
Sick, man. Well, you've given us a few bits there to think about, and as always, classic show business, always leave the listeners wanting more. You've said, well, there might be a remix, but you'll find about that. There'll be some more tracks, but we won't tell you anything about that. But no, man, it's good. Well, like with you guys, the energy is right. Like I said, obviously only one track that I've heard as a collective, and like it bangs. And just connected with you for the first time now over the phone, like your energies are in the right place. To me, strategy is always really important. But more importantly, the passion is there and you're in it for the right reasons, man. So like, It's been wicked to
definitely.
connect. Really good, guys. And just before you go, could you please introduce your brand new track here at Pyro, just as we play it?
This is No Luck, and we are Crankhead.
On Pyro.